Hi everyone, I'm Edric,
I'm Joy.
and we're here to help you.
Get it right from the start.
So we had a very rich conversation with Gian and Joy, and we were gonna have like maybe 3, 4, 5 different segments, but that was so loaded.
I think it sounded like a movie, like a movie script.
We couldn't. I mean, if you're watching us on YouTube, we literally were like just like this. We're like, oh my gosh, we knew details, but thank you guys. I mean, I think this is what's made these dialogues so effective is how people are very honest. And even as we're honest, we're very pointed. So the last conversation was about, I'll say it again, the foundation of any good family is really a good marriage. Yes. And the foundation of any good marriage are two individuals who have experienced, and this is our shared view, a relationship with Jesus.
Amen.
Without that, our life will really kind of meander, right? And we see it can meander in so many different directions. So thank you for being honest. If you didn't catch that app, we encourage you to go back, hear it. We want to move from that point and then now dive deep into the parenting. We do share 6 kids, and we said it in the last app. We'll say it again. You know,
We don't share
maybe.
We don't share each other.
Yeah, sorry. We share the fact that we have
have
6
6
kids
kids.
also, right? And we are maybe rooting for them to have 7 and break the record. We're not being competitive, but it'll be fun. See, they're a little bit tentative.
But I think it's interesting to point that out. I think it's because having heard what they came from before, and then when you see the way they are, if you see this on the YouTube,
video component.
the video component, they're so flirty and giddy, and Gian is super,
Especially
cheesy,
Gian.
sweet.
Especially
Yeah.
Gian's so
He's a very
flirty.
sweet guy, but it's so encouraging to see how their dynamic is today, because at the point where we met them, they're already very loving and very sweet to one another. Like you would not have imagined they went through all that in their marriage. But now that, of course, they're in the season of parenting, multiple ages, from an adult all the way down to a 4-year-old. So like us, I think we share that where we're in the trenches of parenting, all the stages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So of course it comes with its highs and lows and its joys and challenges. So maybe we can go
Yeah, I want to start with
into-
a
you can
Yeah.
start with the first question.
with the
there.
question on style. How would you describe your parenting style? We'll go with Joy first and then Gian.
Parenting style, I think I'm a balance of being strict and fun.
Strict and fun. Gian?
I think we're the same.
So you're compatible in that.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who is more strict between the two of you?
I'm strict when it comes to
The boys with the Mario
no, no. I'm strict when it comes to certain situations, like for example, like going out with friends.
Yeah.
I'm very strict with that. Parang for me, I wouldn't want them to just go out with friends all the time. I don't want them to get used to it because I came from that background and it didn't really do any good. Unless you're doing fellowship or you're doing it for a purpose. But to party, I'm very strict when it comes to that part.
Actually, it's interesting because your oldest son, Hugo, who's in college,
Yeah.
I mean, he actually enjoys
Yeah. He
being
hardly goes out.
at home with you guys,
Yeah.
Yeah,
right?
he does.
And he's a good-looking guy. I know a lot of girls that like him. We can talk about that later. But you create a culture in your home, I think, with the dynamic of your parenting and your relationships with your children, where you guys are so close. You see that on social media. It's very obvious. But we see you guys up close. And you guys are just a very sweet, loving family. And you enjoy being together all the time.
You're trying.
Yeah, we try. Actually, I think we tried to instill that in our kids early on. So, like, my heart is always happy when I see them just gather in our room and, not forcing them, but they just really just love spending time in our room.
With each other, they
with
play
each other,
around.
yeah. So there are times when we were out of the country, we would just look at the camera, and then there
We'd
was
see
one,
them.
yeah,
Yeah.
and one time he cried, and I was like,
I can't imagine him crying.
Why
I'm
are
just
you
saying.
crying? Yeah, he cries very easily. So I was like, why are you crying? And then he was like, babe, look at them. They're just like together, and they're just laughing.
Taking care of each other. They were
And,
having,
even
they were
we're
having
not-
dinner that
even
time.
if we're not around, like we see that they're just, even if sometimes they tease and marry and all, but
They look out for each
yeah,
other.
they look out for each other.
Pray for each
They're
other.
very
Yeah.
loyal to each other.
Yeah.
But because there's 6 of them and there's a lot of boys,
Yeah.
right? Tell us about the challenges. What is it? What have you found have been trying moments in parenting these kids, even as you navigate all the seasons of your own life?
Yeah.
Joy.
I guess what I learned is kids really go through different stages and different seasons in their life. So when really you really just enjoy them when they're like 0 to 7, they're all so cute and all. But once they hit like a certain teenage years, no matter how much you instill values in them, or like I even questioned Gian before. I thought like when you instill that early on, they will really like carry
to
it
it.
on, stick to it, right? But then no, like there are other influences already. When they reach like 12, 13, 14, they have friends that they're around with. They have maybe social media sometimes could influence them. So there are a lot of things that could influence them already, and sometimes they follow, and
But-
and they get swayed.
Yeah,
and
but
they're
still,
not. Yeah.
we're blessed na even though there's mga influence like that, they have a conviction.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Yes,
we see that
exactly.
in them.
I think that's what's important, that you instill Christian values in them early on, because the conviction in their heart will be there no matter what.
Yeah.
Because when we remind them, we see them teary-eyed, and that's when we know, okay, they realize they were wrong, but then
They admit themselves na I was
yeah,
wrong,
and then
ganun.
they feel bad about it. So I think that's what's important. Despite the influences around them, that when we talk to them and when we process things with them, we see that they have that conviction.
So how did you instill that? What did you find effective, especially the older ones now as they're navigating their own adulthood and teen years?
You, babe.
Remember that 2B1 retreat we had like last year, and when one of our kids wanted to go out.
Yes, I do
I
remember
was
that
telling
now.
you, bro, parang ayoko payagan. I was talking to you. And then you just, diba, you told us, that's not just one occasion. There are a lot of times that we'd ask you, diba, since you have kids who are older than our kids, like just a few years older. I think what worked for me and Joy was to be completely transparent and honest with our kids too. So during that time, especially when you turned 16 to 17, we sat down with him and we talked to him and told him, son, you're turning 16. You're turning 17. Ano ka na, you're almost becoming an adult. And we understand that you're going through a lot of changes, and physical, mental changes. Diba? You're growing also spiritually. And I need you to understand that it is our first time to have a 16,
We actually
17
apologized to
years
him also and said, na, if there are things that we do that make you feel like you got hurt or something, but we apologize because this is our first time parenting this
You're
age.
honest.
Yeah, we were honest.
Yeah.
So at least he saw that we were humble to accept that we also make mistakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if we are the parents, we're not perfect. So
And we
we
make-
actually made sure na, they know that. That's why I think they're also open.
Yes, they're very open. And we made it clear to them na we just want you to, we're one team. We're here to,
We're on your side.
Diba? We're
Yes,
on
yeah.
your side, sabi ko sa kanya. And that we want you to reach whatever goals you have in life, whatever dreams you have. Our goal is to help you get there. And we just, we told him na parang, but please always remember that your relationship with God comes first. There's also a time na he wanted to get into a relationship, and even our other kids.
Not our
no, no,
other
no,
kids,
not
no,
the,
not other
no, no, not
kids,
even our
just
other kids.
Hugo.
But during that time, na si Hugo, parang was thinking about that. We told him, na, son, if you want to have a relationship with someone, you have to have a relationship with God first, and then wait for the right time when God tells you to have that relationship with someone.
And you responded positively to that,
Yeah,
right?
he did, di ba?
He did, but I think there was a time when he did have a relationship, but then eventually he realized that he got hurt and all, and
Was
he
too soon,
realized
yeah.
it was too soon, and that's why right now he's more focused on
good.
just focus on like his relationship with God,
Yeah.
school, basketball, and just working out.
But I'm glad you guys are talking about this because it's actually an issue that we've heard from other parents that we know. Just navigating this whole what do we do if our kids like somebody and then they're still teenagers or they're still in college?
Yeah.
Like, what's the dynamic? How do we relate to them without pushing them away? And so, all that you said is really good because you really tried to understand him first, understand where he's coming from,
You
right?
said you're on the same team.
You said you're
Yes.
on the same team. And I think because you do have a good relationship to
Yes.
begin with, it's not like you're coming in and making all these rules and, putting all these boundaries because it's coming from a place where he knows, my parents do really care about me. They do love me. I think the problem is when parents come in and try to set boundaries, but from the very beginning, there's no
Yeah, it's not
close
their safe
relationship.
place, yeah.
Yeah.
They will rebel because it's like, do you really care about me?
Yeah.
Do you
Yes.
really love me?
Yeah.
Because all my life, we hardly even know each other, but here you're trying to come in and control me now, and it's not going to work.
Yeah.
So,
I think it all boils down to like as you were asking kanina, how did it start? So I think early on, like when they were in their 0 to 7 years old, we instilled godly values in them,
Yeah.
and then we made sure that we had a good relationship with them, like that they could talk to us and
They could tell us
they
anything.
could tell us anything, and when we would reprimand them or when we would like discipline them, we had to restore.
Yeah.
I think that was the most important part, like during those critical years, the 0 to 7 especially, because even if they did something wrong and they get disciplined, they felt secure that we still love them
good.
because we restored.
very good.
We would always restore.
There were very small details while they were growing up. When Hugo was around 7 to 10,
Yeah.
when we disciplined them, syempre when when we didn't know these things, napagalitan lang namin ganun eh.
Yeah, when Hugo was 4, before 0 to 4 ni
0 to
Hugo, we
4.
didn't know anything.
yes.
But during the time na around 7 to 10 years old, he was growing up. He had 2 more brothers at that time. When we discipline them, we tell them clearly na, son, hindi ako galit sa'yo, okay? I'm not mad at you. I'm mad at what you did.
Yeah.
Okay? It's what you did that's wrong. Ganon. We explain it to them na it's not a personal attack. I have nothing personal. You're a good. Instead of speaking na, wala ka na, tanga ka ba? Ganon ba?
Yeah.
Ganon.
Speak blessings to them
We
instead.
learn to speak na, son, you're a good man. You're gonna be a good kid. You
Yeah.
have a good future. You're very intelligent. So that means you don't do those things. Ganon eh.
We like calling those life words. The Bible says life and death are in the power of the
Yes,
tongue. So
yes,
life words.
exactly.
Now,
Yes.
so we can kind of cement the thought process here of how do you create these convictions
Yes.
so that when they're older they don't depart
Depart
from them
from
as
it,
you
yeah.
as
Yes,
you were
yes.
modeling, right? Or as you were saying, talk about the importance of modeling, right?
Yes,
So
I was
you
just
said
gonna
you,
say
you,
that,
you
yeah.
taught them early.
Yes.
Yeah.
You gave them the right anchors. You helped discipline them. You created a relationship with them. You helped them realize you're on the same page. But as we know, modeling is so important.
Yes.
Tell us about how that factored into your own journey, how that was helpful.
We're very blessed na we were able to learn these things early on.
Yeah.
During the time na Hugo ngayon like 18 already and I mean 19 turning 20.
What happens when you have so many?
Okay, we've been there. We've been there. We know
Ask
that.
him the birthdays and the birth
I
years.
still remember. Anyway,
I'm joking.
off topic tayo. But anyway, we were very blessed na sila Hugo, they value having a relationship with God and family first. That's very important to them. And me and Joy, I think the reason they do that is because they see
see it,
how
yeah.
we value our relationship with God and with each other.
Yeah.
And the way I treat her or the way she treats me, it will really reflect on how the kids will treat each other or other people. Eh. Kung ano yung nakikita nila na ginagawa ng parents, yun talaga yung gagawin nila. No matter what you say, that's what they see
will
is what they're
follow.
gonna follow. Your
Actually,
actions talaga yung susundin nila.
Actually, perfect example is I'm just blessed that Gian as the leader of the home, he really make parang models talaga how it is as a godly dad. Like for example, little things like, well, this is a big thing, but reading the word in the morning. The kids see that. So if you ask them, what does dad do in the morning? They always say the same thing. They all say the same thing because they see it.
Yeah.
So they would always say he has coffee and then
Copy.
and then he reads
It's
the
word.
Bible.
Bible.
Then he
Good thing you
works-
clarified that because it could be in the
Bible.
word, like the
The
paper,
Bible.
the newspaper
Yeah.
word,
He
right?
reads the Bible. Then he
Yeah.
works out.
Devo
And then
first.
sometimes
Devo.
if he has time, he works out.
Works out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that alone sets already the tone.
very good.
That even if we tell that when we tell them, hey, you have to read your devotion, or did you read na your the Bible or just a verse today?
What's your verse today?
Yeah, because we asked them. So how does it speak
What did you
to
learn?
you?
Yeah.
So we asked them that. So when we ask them that, we don't feel like hypocrites saying it
Yeah.
and we're not doing
Because
it,
you're
right?
doing it. That's great.
So it's actually the modeling there, even that little thing is a big thing.
But bro,
And-
I'm not perfect. There are times na, kanyari, Joy and I would have disagreements. And then she'd be like, I thought you read the word, babe. Why are you acting like that?
Right.
Then I would tell her,
Right.
babe,
I'm not perfect.
imagine mo,
Oo,
kung hindi ko binasa yung word. could have been, di ba?
No,
I
but
bring it up
but I want to
sometimes.
call this out because it's so important. And then, Joy, I know you have something to say, but you talk about modeling, but you started off by saying that when you were raising them to this teen season, you showed them that even you've made mistakes
Yes, yes.
in your past. And I think that's so important for parents to hear because even in our own kids, they've told us we're not looking for perfection, but we're looking for progress.
Wow.
Be honest and show us that you're really willing to change.
yes.
I think that's important. And that's exactly what you're saying. Modeling isn't about, look at me, I'm so perfect.
Yeah.
I will mess up, but hey, even if I do, I'm gonna keep going and try and become more and more like
That's true.
Christ, become better as a father, as a wife, as a
I
mom.
want to add
So,
to that. Remember Hugo attended the Purity Ball?
Yes.
So yeah, that was years ago.
Yeah, years ago, 2000,
Yeah.
before pandemic,
Yeah.
right?
Few months before we joined you guys.
that's right. That's right. We
Yeah.
first met you guys
Yeah.
there.
So he joined first. He was alone, because his brothers joined years later. But before Hugo attended that Purity Ball, Gian and I talked, and we were like, you know what? We need to apologize to Hugo because we weren't pure
Yeah.
when we got
Wow.
married.
That's big.
We had
You
him first.
explained
Yeah.
that to him.
So we felt like parang we're so hypocrites, pinapa-pure natin siya. And then, here we are. We had him before marriage. So we actually talked to him.
Yeah.
We
Sat
sat him down, in the sala. And then we both cried. And he was like, why are you crying?
How old is siya? 14
He
ba?
was
15?
15,
Yeah,
like
15.
mga 15.
Yep. Yep.
He knows of
Yeah.
that. We told him, son,
Yeah, so we told him, that's not God's
you know
plan.
why you're the ring bearer during our marriage, right? And then he goes, yeah, Dad, it's okay. Go ahead. No, but we have to apologize. Sabi ko, we have to tell you, son, we're sorry.
Yeah, we're sorry. We apologize that, we weren't
Excuse me.
a good example. And, after that, we also felt parang peace na, at least, we released that. And then he attended the Purity Ball. So at least,
You're all
parang,
pure coming into
yeah,
it, if
we
you
were
will, right?
pure attending the Purity
Exactly.
Ball. Yeah.
Pero it's
Yeah.
true what you said, Edric. No,
Yeah.
it's not just about being perfect. It's
Yeah,
more
we're
of
never perfect naman
yes,
talaga.
you didn't set a goal for perfection, but
For
you
progress.
but you want to show them na we're doing this together. There's an effort that you're really always seeking, trying to do your
Nice.
best to
We're all a work in progress.
live by God's word.
I want to weave in your choice to homeschool here. I know it's something. Go ahead, Anya.
Yeah, I think maybe before that, I think a lot of people may be curious because you do have 6 kids.
Yes.
How do you now develop an intimate, close relationship with each one of them without also playing favorites? Because I'm sure they all have
Yes.
different personalities. So how do you do that in your family?
I tell them that they're all our favorites. Just like God, that we are all God's favorites.
Okay.
That's what I tell them.
Yeah.
And we make sure to set time, to make time, not find time, but make time for each and every one of them.
Just like a simple talk at home, because sometimes, ideally we would want to go on dates with them, like one-on-one.
Dami.
Yeah, ang dami. We've done that, but then we haven't really been consistent with that. But then what's consistent is we just have small talks with them. Sometimes Gian will just bring Sandro to the bathroom
Or-
and then talk to him.
Yeah, or for example, we go to a basketball game. I'll drive for Sandro.
And then
Sometimes I'll drive
talk.
for
Yeah.
Rodrigo, or
Yeah.
then maybe Rosano.
Yeah, one-on-one
So
time.
during those times na we're together,
You maximize
I
it.
maximize
Yeah.
and talk to them. How are you? How's your...
Do you have special predictable routines as a family that you feel like your kids really look forward to?
They love movie nights.
Yeah,
Okay.
movie
Yeah.
nights. And also,
I
I'm
love
married.
movie nights. I'm just saying.
Bro, it's our
So
band.
you should bring us on your movie nights, guys.
Actually,
No, we do the
Yeah.
band thing too.
oh,
yeah.
you play
Yes,
music
yes.
together.
We do
so fun.
We do worship nights.
So the
and-
other
nice.
night, we did worship night.
Yeah.
So,
So we
you
all
go and
sing,
play the guitar
we
and
both play,
Gian,
yeah.
and then we just sing. And just
And Amari
in the sala.
dances.
Yeah, and just dances.
I
And
can
she
imagine
sings now.
that right now.
She sings. Yeah, she
She
sings.
sings. And even Tom sings.
So is this like a specific time of the week that's predictable?
Usually
Before-
Friday.
Yeah, before it was Thursday nights. But
Yeah.
then now we
Yeah,
have
no,
our-
worship night is Thursday,
Thursdays,
but movie nights Friday
Friday.
or Saturday.
Okay, so it's building up to the weekend.
Yes,
Yeah,
So
yes.
it's so fun. Now you guys also
Yes.
chose at some point to homeschool
Here we
and home
go.
educate your
Yes,
kids.
yes.
Where did that decision come from? What was the conviction behind that?
Okay.
When I was courting Joy, flashback yun,
Okay. Yeah.
I knew na
I
she
love
loves
kids.
kids. So I told her, you know what, babe? You know what? Sabi ko, because I was still courting her, sabi ko, I think I need to use my nephew.
Yeah.
And I would, hey,
If
I'm
I
with
don't
my
reply,
nephew. Ganon.
he would say, "Hey, no says hi." Then I would reply.
Yeah, no,
You're
no,
kidding.
Filipino.
Another fun fact.
So that's crazy, diba? But then I always knew that she'll be a good teacher. She also told me before that she wanted to
Have a school.
have a school, put up a
Yeah.
school and teach.
Yeah.
And
I
kasi
wanted to
dream
have
niya
a
talaga
preschool.
to help kids, to take care of kids. Ganun. So I
I
really
want
knew
to
that she
take
was
up-
gonna be a good
Yeah. I want to take up education.
education. And
But
I
this is-
knew na Joy was going to be a good mom. Weird guy because diba when I saw her, I said, God, I wanted to be the mother of my kids. Right? But then,
2 kids lang back then.
oh, yun na. But then, what happened was, during the pandemic, there was lockdown.
Yeah, I was pregnant with Dom.
Yeah.
And then, the homeschooling, it actually crossed my mind before.
Yeah, 2008 pa.
Yeah.
2009 we got, di ba, that's when we got baptized.
Yes.
And we
Yeah.
were very active
Yeah.
ever since.
Was that 3
We
kids
would-
then? 3 kids
two
then?
kids
2
pala.
kids. Still
Yeah,
kids.
2 kids pa
Yeah,
lang.
so when we became Christians, we were very, very like hungry, or we were very
Yeah.
eager to learn more about how to parent, how to
Make
fix
our
our
marriage work,
marriage.
yeah, how
so
to
we would
protect our
always
marriage, ganun
attend.
eh.
We were
Seminars?
very seminars.
retreats.
We would always attend parenting seminars.
Bible groups
every
too.
year, actually. Sometimes we would be separate na. There was a time when there was a 0 to 7, and then here 8
Yeah.
to ano. So I was like, okay, you will listen there, I will listen here. Let's
Yeah,
exchange
we do
notes.
that. And then we also had our Bible groups, our small groups, and some of the members they
We're
do homeschool na.
homeschooling. Yeah,
We're
so we
already
were
homeschooling.
exposed already to friends that were homeschooling.
Yes.
And so so I was curious na about it before. But then I was like, baka ang hirap niyan. Oh my gosh. And then parang I felt like, oh no, baka I cannot homeschool. Because I was tutoring my son before, so Hugo, and I would get mad so easily. So I was like, oh no, baka I cannot. And then one of our friends told me, parang sometimes homeschooling is a season. It's not for everyone. Don't feel bad if you cannot homeschool, but it's not for everyone, but sometimes it's also a season. And then pandemic came.
So-
And then I felt peace when parang I was pregnant with Dom, and then I don't know if you guys baka you cannot relate because you were homeschooling, but then when we were in regular school, we had to do online school.
Yes, you told me about
Yeah,
that.
online school, and it was difficult.
Yeah,
Like
sobra.
it was difficult in a way that
You had to follow.
we had
like,
to
certain
follow daily
schedule.
schedules, and I had like how many kids,
Yeah.
right? And it was something new to us. And then we had deadlines for projects, and I ended up making almost all of it because the kids were
She's confessing.
yeah,
Confession.
Confession.
teachers.
So
It
that's
was-
when she started.
So so this was March, April, May. So I was telling Gian, I go, babe, if we're gonna continue online school and I would have a newborn, I don't think I can do. Submit all deadlines on time and all. So I was like, why don't we consider homeschool? I think this is the season that they were saying that maybe this is
the
the
right
season
time.
for
So
me.
I try
to
one time.
homeschool. So I said, let's
Yeah.
just
Try
play it
first.
by ear lang, one year at a time.
1 year at a time.
One year at a time. So I tried it, and then it was actually one of the best years of my life because I had a newborn, and we were at our own pace, own time. We would because sometimes I would be puyat, so we would start homeschool maybe late morning 10, or sometimes if I feel like I'm tired, let's start at 1. So we started 1, and we just took our time and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed being with the kids. I even I told Gian, I go, this is when I actually parang knew each of them more like
Yeah.
deeper because I found out like okay, maybe he's learning his
The different talents.
different
Yes.
talents, or
Abilities.
he's a kinesthetic learner. This guy, different personalities. So like Sandro is he can't sit down, so I tell him, okay, you can, there were a lot of things that I learned with each child.
I think you let him move around, right?
I made
what
him
you let
move
do.
around. Yeah, I allowed him to move around, and he learned more. So so it worked for us. And
And I think one of the things that we saw in you two guys, you were very intentional even about the athletics of your family, because that's one thing sometimes that's missing, right, in homeschooling. But you build in your backyard. You had that court.
Yes.
Right.
We did it
Super nice
pandemic.
court that you built during the pandemic.
I played on that court. We had some
Yeah.
fun there.
All your boys got into basketball, and it became such a wonderful bonding
Yeah.
experience for you.
Yeah,
And now
yeah.
your youngest is probably going to be the best
Yes.
basketball
right?
player. He's
he
so
loves-
good
he
already.
loves basketball.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Honey, did you want to add anything
I wanted to
else, Sam?
grill him about that youngest one, but we're gonna do it another time off camera.
gosh.
Our
I know
favorite
now.
questions, but we do have some fun questions to close our time. There's so much more we want to ask, but I think the most important things are in. So thanks again, Gian and Joy. Let's go
Thank you.
lightning round, baby. Let's do this.
You just have to say
Cool.
Gian.
Okay, Gian or Joy.
Okay.
That's the lightning round.
Point or
You can point, but you have to say it out loud.
Say it out
That's
loud so people can hear it on
Okay.
on
And you can
audio
point
well.
as well. Okay.
Okay.
So number 1, who's more patient? Has to be fast, guys. Okay, this is taking too long.
patient with the kids.
In general,
In
who's a more
general?
patient person?
Okay, guys, this is how not to do this lightning round.
So you'll
as in,
point. So
like,
if you think it's you, it's you. If it's the other person, go.
instinct, right
Ready?
away,
Okay.
Respond. So
Who's more patient? Go.
More patient.
Who?
You.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Okay,
That was
Gian.
easy.
All
Finally,
right.
it took a while. Good.
Who is more affectionate?
Yeah.
Boom.
Gian.
Yeah, we heard that story. Who's more scheduled?
Joy.
Oh,
Yes.
Joy, really?
Okay.
Who cries in movies more?
Me.
Really?
Both of us.
Both.
Really?
Gian and Joy.
Gian and Joy. Who's more competitive?
Both.
Gian and
Oh
Joy.
yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that in Joy. We
Yeah.
totally see that in
Perfect
Joy.
match here. Who has a sweet tooth?
Gian.
Really?
Enjoy.
And Joy also. Okay.
That's all.
Who asks for forgiveness right away?
Oh,
Yeah.
me.
Oh,
Oh,
humble.
wow. More adventurous?
Joy.
Me.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a surprise for me. Who talks more?
Joy.
So I broke the audio there. That was funny. All right. Who is? This should be more. This would be more obvious. You asked this question. Should be more obvious. But go ahead. Final
I'm
lightning
not
question.
sure, because it may not be.
Okay, go.
Who cracks jokes
More.
more? Gian.
See,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
figured
Yeah.
it was him. All right, guys. Well, hey, thanks. Did you want to say anything final about parenting or homeschooling on your journey before we
To encourage
close?
people,
Encourage
maybe
people who are
addressing
watching
the
or listening.
audience.
Yeah.
Bro, Edric and Joy, homeschooling is something that I would recommend all families. The truth is, it's not true. Before kasi we were very not naman afraid, but we were very concerned na parang if we homeschool our kids and then they go to universities now or college or socialize with other people, they might not be able to socialize well. But it's not true. They end up actually being more outgoing. There's no judgment. They treat everybody equal, di ba, babe? And it's just really something that I would advise for families, especially when you really want to instill values in your family.
Joy,
Thanks,
maybe
Joy.
you know, like it doesn't even have to be that you, because a lot of families aren't even homeschooling, but maybe you could share something about, in summary, what you've learned about being an intentional parent would be what to encourage them. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think in parenting, to encourage those parents who may feel like, okay, am I too late in the parenting journey? It's never too late.
Yeah.
Even if you try to instill like godly values in your child, even in their teenage year, it might be harder and more challenging, but it's never too late. Maybe just take it as a like a blessing that that you are actually trying to build a foundation in your child before they get married, or a foundation in your child before they reach maybe college years. So I think I'm lost.
No, I know what you're saying. I think a lot of times
Wait lang.
a lot of times we underestimate how much we can accomplish in a
Yes.
year in
Yeah.
terms of building relationship with our children, but we overestimate like 10 years and assume that 10 years is a long time, but really it goes by so
Yeah,
quickly.
Yeah.
true.
So
And I think what Joy is saying, what you're saying is your heart is, it really is never too late, right?
Yeah,
That's
you
kind
can
of what
always
you're
start.
landing on
It's never
because
too late.
you
And
might
we'll
have.
always be parents until our kids have their own kids.
I think we'll still be parents to them then,
Yeah.
but it won't be the same,
But-
obviously,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, but I think it's a blessing that even if we try to parent them the right way in their teens or college, it's never too late because they can still pass it on
good.
to their
Very
future
good.
families.
you're right. And it's
Also,
generational.
Yeah.
Yes,
You're-
it's
And to
generational.
encourage parents, nobody can replace you as a parent to your kids and to your family. Trust God that He's going to use you and going to give you everything that you need if you just continue to trust Him and come to Him and ask for help to raise your family, whether it's emotional, if you need like a financial provision from God or anything that you need talaga to raise your family. Don't underestimate what God can
Power of
do.
God.
Yeah,
I love
or
it.
what God can do through you.
I love it.
Because He gave you that family for a reason.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You just have to really realize no one can replace you.
Awesome. On that note, I'm Edric,
I'm Joy,
and we're here to help you get it
right from the start.